The world is not an easy place, and art should unfold. The art of a club, you have to have things that people find, things that people think about.
It's about having fun with every part of the experience, from getting an invitation.
Design started from the second you got the invite in the mail.
We would fill up 4 truckloads of invites for 1 month.
I think the best one was like a capsule that you put in water and opened up to give you like this fortune cookie-like invitation information.
We made an invitation for a natural history theme that was an egg, that you had to crack the egg, but a real egg. And in the egg, it was the invitation. Or something that you'd have to light on fire and it would explode. I mean, it was diabolical, and we would get hate mail for sending these things. I mean, the rat trap that snapped on one of these smelling salts, people opened them and it just blew their mind, and they were angry.
The Danceteria flyer, it borrows from the language of kind of communist posters.
We really like 30s and Stalinist aesthetic, but in a very twisted way, Instead of the sickle and the hammer, you have the sickle and the cocktail glass,
And you can see the flyers and all the kind of work that goes into creating this art experience.
We just started organically. We were inviting friends, people we knew. Having tangible sources of spreading the word was really important, from the flyer to creating YouTube invites where it was just a photo recap or a video recap of the last party. Having tangible pieces of an event was important.
The design drew me here, and now it's a happy environment to be part of, or a classy environment, or artistic. It's something elevated.
People are really loving Electric Room. I think it's because there's a lot of personal touches in there. The neon sign that's in there, it says all evil things. That was a drawing that René Ricard had done in the 80s in Francesco Clemente's studio. My buddy Sante D'Orazio had taken a picture of it and recreated that into neon.
The Cosmic Cavern that I did at the tunnel was more of a blacklight installation. It was very psychedelic, so I kind of made up what I thought would be fantasy furniture.
We'd put together these little 1992 gift bags with all of the elements that represented the era of the late 80s, early 90s. Things from our childhood, blow pops, Yo MTV rap cards, stickers that were designed by Cope that had our logo. It was just kind of cool to have something that you can take away and reminisce oh, that was a great night.
It can be very little things. Not everything needs to be huge and big. It's the little things that make you smile, maybe. That's what makes it very thrilling and exciting.
So I found this image of an origami pattern that I really liked, and then I started to try different ways to apply it to the bottle.
Yeah, so Sandra is working on this bottle, and I think it's typically also her strength to come with an idea, not just style a nice bottle. It's conceptual thinking. That's what she's particularly strong at.
My objective was to create something that could expand the drinking experience. The club is gonna be divided by colors. 3 colors, red, green, and blue. Think about a design that will change depending on the light of the area. If you are in the red area, you are going to see the green design. If you are in the green area, you are going to see the red design. And if you are in the blue, we thought about using this UV-sensitive ink that reacts on dark environments. So it reveals a hidden design that you couldn't see when you got the bottle. It is like this surprising element that makes the experience more exciting and memorable. I mean, it's not only that you are going to talk about it while you are on the club, but also the day after.
It triggers imagination and inspiration. It's a fun detail, and especially because it's so clever and it maybe even obvious that you think, wow, why didn't we think of that before? That's a really nice conceptual thought.
I find spaces that don't have really any creativity in it a little bit boring. There's an art to creating a space that people want to be in and are dying to be in for hours and hours and hours.
Art brings another capacity to evoke a thought process, create fun, create energy, and create talking points for the space and interest in the space itself. At Bungalow 8, we did the large murals. They were the original bungalows at the Beverly Hills Hotel. So we had these front-to-back murals that kind of captured the space. Or Lot 61, when you see the Damien Hirst painting or the Sean Landers painting, you knew where you were. And that gives it a flavor for people. When they see it in photos, they're like, I've been there, or I want to go there.
So I think also it's about what can we put into this space that will completely fuck everyone's minds.
You have a huge aquarium full of pearls and a snake inside.
Or the cage downstairs with all the dildos, but they're actually Tibetan fertility sculptures. In my neighborhood, they call them dildos. I don't know.
You know, a slide going from the second floor to the first floor, and it was lined up like all night. People loved it.
I probably did the first bar inside a bathroom in a nightclub.
Like, I go into spaces and I think that that's really strange that they would put that right there. But then you couldn't really imagine that space without that awkwardness in it. Pompe a balloon. Like that, it's fucking cool. Perfect. I don't even know if you could spray paint balloons. I thought that the balloon might actually pop. It's fucking pretty cool, I reckon. Imagine that hanging in a space. Maybe a little bit more, like, not a balloon animal, but more like, I guess, a controlled sort of, maybe following a geometric sort of form. I think the idea of walking into a space and having something sort of floating, hovering above, that maybe has projected elements on it as well, could be pretty amazing. Still looks totally wrong, but it might get people talking in the club.
I do believe that the ideas that we're bringing in and the visual space that we're creating, that it will play and can play a very important role in the atmosphere and how people interact. But it's not what it's about. It's about people having a great time, coming together, having a beer, having fun.
Want to have fun? They have to let loose. They need to dance.
I think the goal is a room where you know 100% of the people in the room are having fucking the time of their life.
When I tell you everybody was dancing, I'm talking everybody was dancing, from the 300-pound security girl to the guys outside to whatever. I mean, it was just an insane night.
In the large dance clubs, of which there aren't so many anymore, I think the sound system and the acoustics, the idea was to basically, you lose yourself in there.
For some reason, people really like to look at themselves when they're dancing, at least the people that dance on this stage, so the mirror provides that.
In the old days, people would go out and there was nothing on the wall. It was just like raw concrete and nobody cared. It was just the music.
I don't want to sit in a room and like one out of the 3 songs that I hear. You know, I want to like every song that I hear, and I try and do that in my room.
I play like slows in my club. I don't know how many clubs today still play slows. I do that. So you can dance with your girl and talk and kiss or whatever.
A good DJ can really make a party or not, but the lighting has a lot to do with it too.
Early on, it might be more lit, but as the evening gets later, the lights get dimmer, the atmosphere gets darker.
Darkness creates a sense of intimacy. Something secret can happen that other people don't need to know about. A quick grope, you know, a quick touch. If you go to a club and you're there until they close and they turn on the lights, that's the worst part, because you're taken out of the fantasy.
You can often not tell it's that element or it's that detail or it's that thing that is making it.
It almost doesn't matter what a room looks like.
Everything we did was really just to lure the people.
Fun things happen when you put a bunch of random people together.
We need each other. And going out at night is as natural to humans as going back to caveman days. That's the way I figure it.
The design is imagining the fantasy life of that group of people.
Is there anyone aware? Am I the only